Betrayal never breaks you, it reveals you. Let that settle deep in your chest for a moment, my friends. Let it hit like it's supposed to. Because today, today we're going into a space most people avoid. A space where the raw truth lives. We're about to face betrayal head-on. And listen, I know it hurts. I know how heavy that weight feels when someone you trusted flips the script on you, leaves you bleeding with questions that never get answered. But here's where I need you fully with me, right now. Don't even think about leaving this video. Don't tell yourself you'll come back later. Stay right here. Because what's coming, it's going to flip the way you look at betrayal forever. This isn't just some feel-good talk. This is the truth that no one's told you. The lie that's been sold to you your whole life is that betrayal demands a reaction, that you've got to fire back, defend yourself, make them feel the pain they caused you. But here's the Stoic slap of reality. Betrayal doesn't demand a reaction. It demands your evolution. And if you walk away from this before we dive in, you'll stay stuck in that old loop, angry, reactive, bleeding energy on people who've already shown you who they are. See, betrayal, it's like a knife wound. It cuts deep, it's sharp, and it leaves you reeling. But here's the part that no one talks about. The wound isn't what destroys you. It's the infection that follows. It's the bitterness, the revenge, the endless thoughts of why and how that eat you from the inside out. But you, my friends, you don't have to let that infection spread. You're here because some part of you knows. It's time to break the cycle. And I'm telling you right now, stay with me. Don't even scroll. Don't let the part of you that wants to avoid this truth pull you away. Because what we're about to unpack, it's going to free you. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine a warrior on the battlefield covered in scars. Those scars? They aren't signs of weakness, they're proof of survival. Proof that they've been through hell and came out standing. You've got those scars too, whether you see them or not. And today we turn them from reminders of pain into reminders of power. And yeah, I hear that voice in your head. But if I don't say something, they'll think they got away with it. Oh, my friends, that's fear talking. That's your ego screaming for attention. But silence? Silence is the loudest thing you can say to someone who betrayed you. Silence makes them sit with their choices while you rise above it. Remember this from Marcus Aurelius. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. That's the Stoic way. That's the high ground. That's how you win. But hey, I won't lie to you. This isn't easy. Betrayal twists you up. It makes you question your worth. And that's exactly why you cannot click away from this video. Don't give that betrayal one more ounce of power. Stay with me, because I'm about to show you how to turn that pain into fuel for your evolution. Say this with me right now, my friends. I rise stronger from betrayal. Say it like you mean it. And don't stop there. Write it in the comments. I want the world to see that you're claiming your power back today. Hit that like button if this is stirring something in you, if you know deep down that this is your moment to rise. Subscribe, because we're about to break down the exact way to respond when they betray you. The Stoic way, the powerful way. Stay with me. This is going to change everything. Number 1. Betrayal isn't about you. It's about their character. When someone betrays you, the betrayal doesn't speak of your worth. It screams about their character. Let that one land hard, my friends, because this is where most people get trapped, spinning in circles, asking the wrong questions. What did I do wrong? Was I not enough? Did I deserve this? And I get it. When betrayal hits, it doesn't just slice through your trust. It cuts into your sense of self. It makes you doubt everything about who you are. But that's the greatest lie betrayal ever tells you, that it's your fault, that you somehow caused it. Today, we're going to break that lie wide open. Betrayal isn't about you. It never was. It's about them. It's about their cracks, not yours. Let me paint you a picture that's going to stick. Imagine standing in front of a cracked mirror. No matter how flawless you are, no matter how perfect you look, the reflection is distorted. The cracks in the glass twist your image, bend it, break it. But the cracks, they aren't in you. They're in the mirror. That person who betrayed you. They're the mirror. Their cracks, their flaws, their insecurities, their lack of integrity are what's twisting this whole reflection. But standing there long enough, looking at that broken reflection, you start believing it's you. You start believing you're the one who's broken. And this is where the real danger lives, not in the betrayal itself, but in the stories you tell yourself afterward. That you weren't good enough, that if you'd just been smarter, kinder, more patient, more something, you could have prevented it. But let me tell you the truth, my friends. Their betrayal, it reveals them, not you. It reveals their weakness, their lack of courage, their inability to hold what you offered, their cracks, their reflection, not yours. But I know what you might be thinking right now. If it's not about me, why does it hurt so bad? And that's fair. Betrayal stings, not just because of the act, but because of the trust you gave, the love you offered. You handed someone your heart, your loyalty, and they dropped it. They shattered it. And so, yeah, it feels personal. But here's the Stoic truth. It's not. Their betrayal? That's a reflection of their character, their choices, their flaws, not your value. Let me hit you with another metaphor. Picture yourself as a solid stone, strong, whole, steady. Someone throws mud at you. Now, does that mud stain your core? No. It clings to the surface, maybe makes you feel dirty, makes you feel less than for a moment. But it's not you. And that mud, that's their betrayal. It's their dirt, their mess, their inability to treat you with the respect you deserved. And here's where it gets tricky. Because if you sit in that mud long enough, you forget your stone. You start thinking the mud is part of you, but it never was, and it never will be. And hey, I know the fear that creeps in. But what if I really wasn't enough? What if I pushed them away? What if I caused this? That's the lie betrayal plants in your mind, that you're the problem, that you're the one who has to shrink, to bend, to fix yourself, so this doesn't happen again. But let me flip that for you. People of integrity, they don't betray. People of character, they communicate, they show up, they don't drop you when it's hard. So no matter what story betrayal tries to tell you, it's not your reflection in that cracked mirror, it's theirs. Here's a quote that hits right where it hurts. How people treat you is their karma, how you respond is yours. That's from Wayne Dyer. And what does that mean? It means you can't control the cracks in someone else's mirror. You can't control whether they show up whole or broken, but you can control whether you believe that reflection. You can control whether you carry their cracks as your own. And right now, we're letting go of that weight. And yeah, it's hard. I'm not here to sugarcoat it. Walking away from someone who betrayed you isn't just about losing them. It's about losing the version of yourself that believed they'd never do it. And that version of you, that's who's hurting right now. But the person who rises from betrayal, the person you become after, oh, they're stronger, wiser, unshakable. But first, we've got to break the lie that says you deserved this, that this was about you, because it wasn't. It never was. Their betrayal reveals them, not you. Say it with me right now, my friends. Their betrayal reveals them, not me. Say it again, louder. I want this to echo in your chest. And don't stop there. Write it in the comments. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world that you're done carrying the weight of someone else's cracks. Hit that like button if this is hitting home for you. Subscribe, because next, we're going even deeper. We're going to talk about your reaction and how your response to betrayal is where your true power lives. Stay with me, my friends. We're just getting started. Number 2, your reaction is your power. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That one's from Viktor Frankl, my friends. A man who survived the unimaginable and still came out holding on to the one thing no one could take from him, his response. And this is the heart of what we're diving into now. Your reaction is your power. It's the space where you choose whether you let betrayal burn you down or whether you use it to build something stronger. And listen, I know how hard this is. When someone betrays you, everything inside you screams for a reaction. Your mind races, your heart pounds. You want to call them out, drag them into the storm they created, make them see the damage they've done. But here's where the real power lives. The moment you decide not to hand them the keys to your peace. Picture this. There's a raging fire, wild, uncontrollable, tearing through everything in its path. It consumes the very thing it feeds on. That fire? That's what an unchecked reaction looks like. When you let anger, hurt, and revenge run loose, you're the one burning. You're the one left standing in the ashes of your own peace. But now, picture a river, steady, calm, flowing with purpose. It doesn't need to rage to shape the landscape. Over time, its steady current shapes stone, carves out valleys, builds canyons. That river? That's you, my friends, when you hold your power, when you let your response flow from a place of strength, not impulse. And I know what you're thinking. But I need to say something. I need to defend myself. I can't just let them get away with this. That's the lie fear tells you. That if you don't react, if you don't rage, you've lost. But let me flip that for you. Reacting isn't winning. Reacting is giving them exactly what they want. It keeps you chained to their betrayal. It keeps you tied to their chaos. But when you step back, when you hold your ground, breathe, and choose your response with intention, that's where freedom lives. Here's where Stoicism hits hardest. The Stoics taught this. You can't control what happens outside of you, but you can always control what happens within. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Betrayal, that's what happens to you, but your reaction, that's yours. That's where your power lives. That's the one thing no betrayal, no person, no circumstance can take from you, unless you hand it over willingly. Let me drop another metaphor for you. Think of a chessboard. Every move your opponent makes, that's outside your control. But how you move your pieces, that's up to you. Now imagine your opponent makes a reckless move, sacrifices a piece they shouldn't have. That's betrayal. It's shocking. It's unexpected. But if you jump up, flip the board, start shouting, you've already lost. But if you sit back, see the board clearly, think about your next move, that's where you win the long game. And life is the long game. But here's why it feels so hard. Reacting is easy. It's instant. It feels good in the moment. It feels like release. But that's the trap. Because once that fire burns out, you're left with the damage. Holding your response. That takes discipline. It takes strength. It takes faith in yourself. But trust me, It's worth it. Let me hit you with another truth that's going to land hard. The one who reacts first loses control of the game. Because reacting means you're playing their game, not yours. But responding? Responding from a place of calm, from a place of strength? That's you setting the rules. That's you holding the board. And listen, I get it. Silence feels unnatural at first. Holding your response feels like standing still while the storm rages around you. But here's what I need you to remember. The storm will pass, and when it does, you'll still be standing, stronger, wiser, unmoved. So right now, my friends, I want you to breathe this in. Anchor yourself in this truth. Say it with me, right here, right now. My reaction is my power. Say it loud. Say it until it feels real. And don't stop there. Write it in the comments. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world that you're done reacting out of pain, out of impulse. Hit that like button if you're claiming that power today. Subscribe, because next, we're going even deeper. We're going to talk about how silence, not words, is the loudest response to betrayal. Stay with me, my friends. The best is yet to come. Number 3. Silence is the loudest response to betrayal. Silence is the true friend that never betrays. That's Confucius speaking across centuries, my friends. And today, we're going to let that truth settle in. Because right now, you might feel like the only way forward is to speak up, to confront, to demand closure from the one who betrayed you. But let me flip that lie right on its head. You don't need to explain yourself to someone who showed you they don't value your words. You don't need to confront someone who has already revealed their character. And closure, closure is the biggest lie of them all. The belief that if you just get the right words, the right explanation, the right apology, you'll feel whole again. But here's the Stoic truth. Closure doesn't come from them. It comes from you. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're standing at the entrance of a long hallway. Behind you, the person who betrayed you. They're yelling, pleading, explaining, or maybe they're silent too, pretending nothing happened. But you walk to the door at the end of the hall, you close it, and what do you hear? The echo of their actions, not their words, not their excuses, their actions. That's what stays. That's what speaks. And that door is your silence. That's your boundary. And the echo, that's their conscience. Because here's the thing about betrayal. When you respond with words, when you try to confront or explain or demand something from them, you're still giving them your energy. You're still standing in that hallway, listening, engaging, trying to fix something they broke. But when you close the door, when you choose silence, you let them sit with the weight of their own actions. And trust me, that silence is deafening. And I know what that voice in your head is saying. But I need to tell them how much they hurt me. I need to make them understand. That's the lie. That's the fear. That's the part of you that believes your healing is tied to their understanding. But let me tell you the truth. Your healing doesn't depend on them getting it. Your healing depends on you letting go of needing them to. Let me hit you with another metaphor. Imagine dropping a stone into a still pond. The ripples spread out, reaching further and further. But the stone sinks, disappears beneath the surface. Now think of your words like those ripples. You can throw them out there, hoping they reach the other person, hoping they make an impact. But here's the catch. The stone, the core of it all, is already gone. Their betrayal already happened. And no amount of ripples, no amount of words is going to bring that stone back to the surface. The only thing that lasts, the silence that follows. And here's where Stoicism flips the whole game. The Stoics knew that external things, what people say, what people do, are outside our control. But how we respond, that's all ours. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And silence. Silence is the ultimate expression of that power, because silence says, I choose not to play in this chaos. I choose not to fight battles that don't serve me. But hey, I'm not here to pretend silence is easy. Holding your tongue, walking away, not sending that text, not making that call. It feels like holding your breath underwater. It feels like standing still while everything inside you screams to say something. But here's the thing, my friends. The hardest choices are often the most powerful. And silence? Silence is a choice. It's not weakness. It's strength. It's you choosing your peace over their chaos. Let me drop another truth bomb on you. The one who breaks the silence first is the one who needs control. But you don't need control over them. You only need control over yourself. And that control, that's the loudest response you can ever give. So right now, I want you to breathe this in. I want you to feel it settle deep. Say it with me, right here, right now. My silence is my strength. Say it louder. Let it echo in your chest like that closed door. And don't stop there. Write it in the comments. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world that you are choosing silence, not as an absence, but as a statement. Hit that like button if this truth is landing for you. Subscribe, because next, we're going to talk about walking away, not as an act of defeat, but as an act of self-respect. Stay with me, my friends. This journey is just getting deeper. Number 4. Walking away isn't weakness. It's self-respect. A lion doesn't turn around when a dog barks. Let that sink in for a moment, my friends. Feel the weight of that truth. Because right now, you might be standing in the middle of a battlefield you didn't choose, facing betrayal, disrespect, maybe even humiliation. And every instinct in you wants to turn back, to engage, to explain yourself to the very ones who threw the first stone. But I'm here to tell you something most people won't. Walking away isn't weakness, it's self-respect. See, the world teaches you that standing your ground means fighting, that if you walk away, you've lost, that if you don't respond to every bark, every insult, every act of betrayal, you're soft, you're scared, you've been defeated. But let me flip that whole narrative right now, because lions don't waste their time with barking dogs. They don't need to. A lion knows what it is. It doesn't need to prove it. And you, my friend, you're the lion in this story. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine standing tall in the middle of a storm. The wind is howling, debris flying everywhere, voices screaming at you from all sides. You can't stop the storm. You can't quiet the voices. But you have one choice: to stand there and absorb all of it, or to walk away from the chaos, to find shelter, to protect your peace. That's what walking away is. It's not giving up. It's choosing yourself over the storm. But I know what that voice in your head is whispering. If I walk away, they'll think they won. They'll think I'm weak. That's the ego talking. That's the lie we've all been told. That you have to explain yourself, prove yourself, get the last word. But here's the Stoic truth. Your energy doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. Walking away doesn't mean you're weak. It means you've decided that your peace is more important than their chaos, that your future is more valuable than staying stuck in their mess. Let me drop another metaphor that's going to land right where it needs to. Picture yourself as a cup of clear water. Every time you engage with toxicity, every time you argue, explain, defend yourself to someone who doesn't value you, you're letting them pour ink into your cup. Slowly, that clear water turns murky. But when you walk away, when you refuse to let their chaos spill into your space, you keep your water clear, you protect your peace. And here's the psychological flip. Choosing yourself over chaos is an act of self-love. It's saying, I'm not available for this kind of energy. It's knowing that not everything deserves your reaction, your presence, or your time. Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. That's what walking away does. It makes you unlike them. It keeps you elevated, focused on your path, not theirs. But hey, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Walking away feels hard. It feels like turning your back on the fight when everything inside you wants to swing back. It feels like silence when your heart is screaming to speak. But remember this. The lion doesn't lower itself to the level of the barking dog. The lion walks forward, unbothered, untouchable. Let me drop one more truth bomb for you. You don't owe anyone your presence. Not the person who betrayed you. Not the one who disrespected you. Not the one who showed you their true colors. Walking away? That's you setting the standard. That's you saying, my peace is not up for grabs. So right now, my friends, let's lock this in. Let's ground ourselves in this truth. Say it with me, right here, right now. I protect my peace. Say it loud. Say it like a lion roaring into the wind. And don't stop there. Write it in the comments. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world that you are done giving your energy to chaos. Hit that like button if you're claiming that power today. Subscribe, because next, we're diving into how detachment reveals their true role in your life. And trust me, you don't want to miss this. Number 5. Detachment reveals their true role in your life. Sometimes holding on does more damage than letting go. Let that truth settle for a moment, my friends, because I know how hard this next step feels. Detachment. The very word stirs something inside, doesn't it? It feels like giving up, like surrender, like losing something you fought so hard to hold on to. But here's what we're about to break wide open today. Detachment isn't losing, it's revealing. It's revealing who's meant to be in your life and who was only meant to teach you a lesson. I want you to picture this. Sand slipping through your fingers. You can squeeze it as tightly as you want, grip it with everything you have, but the tighter you hold, the faster it escapes. And yet, if you relax, if you open your palm, the sand that's meant to stay, it rests there. It doesn't need to be forced. It doesn't need to be clutched. It stays because it's meant to, and the sand that slips away, that's not yours to hold. That person you're trying so hard to hold on to, the one who betrayed you, who disrespected you, who showed you their cracks, the tighter you cling, the more you lose yourself in the process. And here's the lie you've been told. I need to hold on to prove my worth. That if you just love harder, give more, show them how much you care, they'll see your value. They'll stay. But my friends, that's the trap. That's the mindset that keeps you stuck in relationships and situations that are draining the life out of you. Let me flip that lie for you. Letting go isn't proof that you weren't enough. Letting go is proof that you know you're enough. Detachment is the act of saying, I trust that what's meant for me will stay without force. I trust that my worth isn't tied to someone else's ability to recognize it. That's the power move. And yeah, I know what you might be thinking, but what if I let go and they never come back? What if I let go and I lose them forever. That's the fear. That's the voice of attachment. But here's the truth. The ones who are meant to be in your life, they won't need to be chased. They won't need to be convinced. What's meant for you doesn't require you to lose yourself trying to hold on to it. Let me hit you with another metaphor that's going to land right where it needs to. Picture yourself standing in a river, trying to hold onto a leaf floating by. The current keeps pulling it away, but you keep reaching, keep grabbing, keep fighting to hold on. Meanwhile, the river keeps flowing, life keeps moving, and all the beauty around you, you miss it because your focus is locked on that one leaf. But if you let it go, if you release it to the current, you free yourself to experience everything else the river has to offer. Detachment isn't about not caring. It's about caring enough about yourself to let go of what isn't meant to stay. It's about creating space for something better, for something that doesn't require you to sacrifice your peace. And let me remind you, peace is the highest form of wealth. Without it, everything else crumbles. Here's another Stoic gem from Epictetus. He who is not satisfied with a little is satisfied with nothing. What does that mean? It means that the one who constantly grasps for more attention, more validation, more approval, will never feel whole. But the one who can be satisfied with what flows naturally, that's where the real power is. Detachment is trusting the flow. But hey, I get it. Letting go feels like jumping without a parachute. It feels like standing on the edge, not knowing if you'll land or fall. But trust me, my friends, the fall isn't the end. It's the beginning of freedom. Because the truth is, holding on too tightly doesn't keep you safe. It keeps you stuck. So right now, I want you to anchor yourself in this truth. Say it with me, loud and clear. Letting go is the proof of my worth. Say it until it feels real. And don't stop there. Write it in the comments. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world that you're done clinging to what isn't meant for you, that you trust yourself enough to release what doesn't serve you. Hit that like button if this truth is hitting home. Subscribe, because next, we're diving into how scarcity creates value and how your absence becomes your greatest strength. Number 6. Scarcity creates reflection. Your absence makes them see. You don't know what you have until it's gone. Cliché? Maybe. But my friends, clichés stick around for a reason. They hold a truth we all try to forget. And today, we're leaning all the way into that truth. Because when it comes to betrayal, when it comes to walking away, the world will tell you the only way to be seen is to stay present, to keep showing up, keep giving, keep reminding them of your value. But here's where we flip that narrative. Your absence speaks louder than your presence ever could. Scarcity creates reflection. Your absence makes them see. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine the sun vanishing from the sky. One day, it's there, warm, bright, constant. The next, gone. What happens? The world freezes, the cold creeps in, the absence of that warmth, suddenly undeniable. Suddenly, everyone notices. That's you. That's your energy. When you're always there, always giving, always showing up, you're like the sun, so constant they stop appreciating the light. But the moment you pull that light back, the chill hits different. The void becomes undeniable. And I know what some of you are thinking right now. But what if they don't notice? What if they don't care? That's fear talking. That's the part of you that's been conditioned to believe that your value is tied to your presence. That if you're not right there in front of them, they'll forget you. But let me hit you with the truth. Real value doesn't fade in absence. It becomes clearer, just like the sun, just like the warmth we take for granted until it's gone. Here's the power dynamic no one tells you about. The void of your absence teaches the lesson their ego wouldn't let them learn while you were there. See, when you're constantly available, constantly giving, their ego gets comfortable. It gets fed. It believes it can always access your light, your warmth, your energy. But when you walk away, when you create that space, the ego gets hungry, and in that hunger, reflection happens. Let me drop another metaphor that's going to land right where it needs to. Picture a well. As long as the bucket is always full, no one questions the depth of the water. They just come, take what they need, and leave. But one day, they lower the bucket, and there's nothing there. Dry, empty. Suddenly, they're questioning the source, wondering what went wrong, wondering how deep that well really goes. That's what your absence does. It forces reflection. But here's why it feels so hard. Because scarcity feels like a gamble. It feels like stepping back and risking everything. It feels like saying, if I'm not here, maybe they'll just move on. But my friends, that's the fear talking again. That's the lie that keeps you clinging to people and situations that don't value you. The truth is, what's real won't disappear in your absence. It'll recognize your value more clearly. Let me remind you of something powerful from the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." Reflection leads to truth. But people don't reflect when they're comfortable. They reflect when the comfort is gone, when the warmth disappears, when the bucket comes up empty. But here's the key. You don't create scarcity to manipulate. You don't pull back to play games. You pull back to protect your peace, to hold your value. And in doing that, you give them the space to see who you really were. Not through your words, not through your explanations, but through the void you leave behind. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it, waiting in that silence. It's tough. It feels like standing at the edge of a cliff, wondering if anyone will notice you're gone. But trust me, they feel it. Maybe not right away. Maybe not in the way you expect. But the reflection, it happens because scarcity forces it. So right now, my friends, I want you to anchor yourself in this power dynamic. Say it with me. My absence teaches the lesson. Say it again, louder. Let it echo like the void you're creating. And don't stop there. Write it in the comments. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world that you're done being over-available, that you trust the power of your absence. Hit that like button if this truth is landing in your soul. Subscribe, because next, we're rising even higher. We're going to talk about why you never lower yourself to their level, why rising above betrayal is your ultimate power move. Number 7. Rise higher. Don't sink to their level. When they go low, we rise higher. Simple words, but they hold a power most people overlook, my friends. And today, we're taking that power back, because when someone betrays you, disrespects you, drags your name through the mud, there's a part of you that wants to meet them down there, to get in the dirt, to swing back, to bite like the snake. But that's not your place. That's not where your power lives. Your power lives higher. Let me give you a metaphor that hits right where it needs to. Eagles don't fight snakes on the ground. Why? Because that's the snake's domain. On the ground, the snake can strike, slither, twist, and trap. But the eagle? The eagle knows its strength isn't in playing the snake's game. The eagle takes the snake into the sky, into its own territory, where the air gets thin, where the snake has no power, no footing, no fight left. And that's what you're going to do. Rise higher. Don't get pulled down into the mud, the gossip, the revenge. Lift it. Elevate it. Take it to a place where their chaos can't breathe. But I know how tempting it is to stay grounded, how natural it feels to fight back, to defend your name, to make sure they know they didn't win. That's the human instinct, right? To make sure they feel what you felt. But here's the Stoic truth, straight from Marcus Aurelius. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. That's the elevation we're talking about. That's you choosing to rise above betrayal, to refuse to let their actions dictate your character. Because here's what happens when you sink to their level. You become what they are. You mirror their chaos. You trade your peace for a place in their storm. But when you rise, when you refuse to engage at their level, you remind yourself and them that you are something different, something higher, something they can't reach. Let me paint you another picture. Imagine standing at the top of a mountain. The air is clear, the view is wide, and the noise of the world below is silent. Now imagine someone shouting at you from the valley. You could climb down. You could get in the dirt and argue back. Or you could stay right where you are, elevated, untouched, unbothered. That's your power. That's the Stoic elevation. Staying focused on virtue and growth while the world tries to pull you into its noise. And yeah, I hear that voice in your head. But if I don't fight back, they'll think they got away with it. But let me flip that for you. The one who stays calm in the face of chaos always holds the real power. When you refuse to be dragged into the mud, when you hold your peace, you remind everyone, including yourself, that your energy isn't for sale, that you don't engage where you don't belong. Here's the truth that's going to hit hard. They already lost when they betrayed you. They lost access to your light, your loyalty, your love. You don't need to prove that to them. Your growth, your peace, your elevation, that's the proof. That's the real win. Because while they stay stuck in the same cycles, you're out here rising higher, moving forward, becoming better. Not in spite of what happened, but because of it. But let's be real, it's not easy. Rising above takes discipline. It takes vision. It takes knowing that your future is more important than this moment. But trust me, my friends, it's worth it. Because when you rise, when you refuse to sink, you set the standard. Not just for how others treat you, but for how you treat yourself. So right now, I want you to breathe this in. Say it with me, loud and proud. I rise above betrayal. Say it again. Let it anchor deep. And don't stop there. Write it in the comments. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world that you're done playing small, done fighting on the ground. You're taking this fight to the sky. Hit that like button if you're feeling that power rise inside you. Subscribe, because next, we're closing this out strong. We're talking about how to build a life they no longer recognize, a life so powerful, so peaceful, that their betrayal doesn't even register anymore. Number 8. The final power move. Build a life they no longer recognize. The phoenix must burn to emerge. That's the final truth I leave you with, my friends. Betrayal. It feels like the end, like the fire that consumes everything you've built. But here's the part they don't tell you. You rise from those ashes, stronger, wiser, unrecognizable to the very ones who tried to break you. They thought the fire would destroy you, but it forged you. Let's break the biggest lie once and for all. Betrayal broke me. No, betrayal built you. It stripped away what wasn't meant to stay. It cleared the space for you to rebuild, stronger, sharper, untouchable. That's the final power move, to build a life so rich, so peaceful, so elevated, they no longer recognize the person they tried to tear down. Right now, I want you to say it with me. I am reborn, stronger. Let that rise from deep within. And don't stop there. Write it in the comments. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world that the ashes weren't your end. They were your beginning. Hit that like button if this truth hit home. Subscribe, because this is just the start of your rise. Stay with me, my friends. The best is always ahead.